Hello and welcome to our new show, Pearls Parallel Paranormals. Have you ever seemed like sometimes it feels like I see my alien friends are with me right over my head. Well, hello there. Welcome to the show. Have you ever just felt like sometimes something has happened before? Uh, you go at a place and it feels like you've been there before, or you're in a place and you do something and it feels like you've been in that place and you've done that before. Well, that could be because you might be in a different parallel. They call it deja vu, but nobody really has an explanation for it. So we talk about the unexplained. It could have been a paranormal experience. Nobody can really explain what deja vu means scientifically or medically. Or they give us a reason. But you know what? They have to ask, tell us something. All right? I've got a fantastic team. Y'all can see them on the screen, but I'm going to bring them live into the studio. He's still, even on Parallel Paranormals, the heartbeat of the South and every beat of my heart. Tim Harrington. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Mom, how's everybody doing?
Welcome to the show.
All right,
And we
good.
cannot do this without this expert herself. I did not realize she was such an expert in these topics. But she's got some interesting things for you tonight. So have I. And Tim, I think he has something too, but we can't do it without CC Carlson. Hi, Kathy,
Hey,
CC.
Hey,
Catherine.
hi everyone. I love that in the beginning. That I
How's-
love spooky stuff, and you just hit
Yeah.
a funny, scary bone in me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk some scary stuff, but we still gonna have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You can't take it too serious because not everything's meant to hurt you. It just happens to be there. That's all.
That's right. It's
Mhm.
unexplained. And we're going to
Hmm.
go ahead and greet the audience here as soon as I can get back to the over to the comment column. I saw that we got about 8 chats going on in here. Um, I guess Sheila, I don't want to. I'm waiting for the little thumb to. There we go. Little thumb to come up. Don't want to push buttons until it's ready. This show is too important tonight.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. Ah,
Yeah. So I don't want to push buttons. All right. So here we go. All right. So we got. First of all, a hello to everybody from Pearl's Paranormal Show. It'll come up on the screen momentarily, I think. I think perhaps I need a new mouse too.
Mm.
Okay. Pearl's Paranormal Show says hello, everybody, and welcome. All right. And then we have Doug. Doug says hello, Emily. Is this the
hi,
Pearl's
Doug.
Political Parallel Paranormal Program?
What's up, Doug?
No, not political. We got James in the house. Hi, James. James
Hey,
says, hi,
James.
ladies. I'm here.
Hey, James.
James.
Hi.
And he also got a separate hi for his comrade, Navy man. Wait a minute. What is it? It's just really flashing, isn't it?
It's the
Um, he,
paranormal.
he got a separate paranormal already. He got a separate hello there for
Parallel,
you, Tim.
parallel.
All right,
His
how you
comrade.
doing, Mr. James? Glad you can make it
His
here.
comrade. Yeah. So here's we go. Here we go. We got Tim. My topic is going to be about uh, being born with a veil over your face.
Mm.
And many of my viewers and fans and audience members have heard me say that for the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But, I just never researched it until this morning
Mm.
because that's what came to my mind to talk about because all I know is what I was told when I was, as I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to talk about that. Um, and he says, ha 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 ha. I had to stutter on the parallels. Hi,
I know.
Kathy, from
Hi.
James. Yeah, Doug says, ha ha ha. He had to stutter on the parallels.
Mm.
There he goes. All right. Yeah, I know. We got PPP.
That's true. That's true. We are paralegals, don't forget. So we are
Yeah,
paralegals. We're a pair of paralegals. So
yeah, we are. We are, aren't we? And Tim, what are you going to discuss tonight for the audience?
Well, it was so much information. I was just like, wow, it's so deep. So I thought that, excuse me, the information that I have is very brief, and it's
Okay.
from the first recorded sighting. Uh,
Okay, well, we'll let you go first after we come back, Kathy. What are you going to talk
sure.
about to the audience tonight?
Yep. Okay.
Kathy, what are you sharing with the audience tonight?
Oh,
I'm
I
just
see.
giving them
I
a
see.
heads. I'm giving them a heads
Well,
up. We're not going to do it right now.
I have a picture of the ET next to
mm,
me in the creek, but I can like hold up my camera. I don't know my phone and the picture and see if it comes out well. But I didn't know what
Well,
we were going to talk about. I even have
I
some.
have I have the
Hmm,
pictures of your book. I'm going to show for you. What you going
okay.
to talk about
Okay.
your books?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent me the back
Yeah.
cover, and
Yeah.
you sent me
Oh
two
yeah.
books, right?
We,
Two
we,
picks. I have those,
we,
so I'll be able to show
yeah. We have.
that during whatever you're
Mhm.
going to talk about. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Okay.
Okay. So we'll take a little break and I'll give y'all time to share the show while we're live, and then, by the way, this is a new show. It's going to take us a little bit of time to build up some
yeah,
views, but
yeah.
um, I know how that goes. So we'll just see what we get. We just have to keep sharing, sharing, sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll take a break, and then we'll be back and start with Tim. You'll be on deck. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
And we're gonna participate with you and chime in on what you have to say. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back. Y'all stay tuned. Don't go away. Okay. I see Sybil's video in here. I thought that was gone.
This is Cassie. She never really paid attention to her credit scores until she got Credit Karma and used her scores to score more, like her first ride. When it was time to upgrade, she shopped around for a lower auto insurance rate to go with it. Even when she decided to blaze a new trail, Credit Karma helped her with an auto loan to get her where she was going. But where is she going? Credit Karma. Download the free money app where your hard work pays off.
Oof, gotta get rid of this.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh?
It helps remove odors 3 times better than detergent alone.
It worked, guys.
Yeah.
New Downy Rinse and Refresh.
Introducing IHG One Rewards. 17 hotel brands, 6,000 global destinations. One loyalty program that lets you guest how you guest.
Victor, why are you still living with odors? Get back in there and freshen instantly with new Febreze Air Mist. That's right, Febreze now has a new, finer mist that floats in the air longer and quickly fills the room to fight even your toughest odors. Leftover fried fish funk? Instant freshness. Gaming teen odors? Instant freshness. Spray new Febreze Air Mist to keep your home smelling fresh and clean.
All right, we are back. We're back. Tim, take us
Yes.
away.
Okay. This short and brief, but info nevertheless. The first recorded sighting was by Kenneth Arnold on June 24th, 1947.
Mm.
He was a private pilot who claimed that he saw a string of 9 skinny, unidentified flying objects flying past Mount Rainier at speeds up to 1,200. He said 1,200 miles an hour. Now, this was the first post-World War II sighting in the United States that gained nationwide news coverage.
Mm.
So that's just the first one that's reported. But we all know it's really about the ones that wasn't reported. And how far does that really go back? Do we even have an idea of that?
Yeah,
1947.
Columbus.
Columbus
Columbus saw UFO. Yeah,
did it.
UFOs have been shown all the way through, even in biblical times.
Right.
Hmm.
I know. I remember a little bit about that. The Egyptians also have their writings that they did that showed um, that we looked at it as it was the it was them, the, those guys up there.
Hmm.
What guys?
Yeah.
That's over
Hmm.
my head.
Yeah, those guys. You know, in a lot of their writings and in a lot of their paintings, they show that they really had a relationship with them. It seems like, from what I know.
Oh
Um,
yeah, they
so
did. They
yeah,
have a relationship. The aliens have always had the relationships with humans. In fact, they were here before anything. There are five races, they say, and a human being, man is the fifth race. I'm talking about in the universe. I'm not talking
right,
about cultures or ethnicity.
right.
I'm talking about entities, and man is the fifth race entity of the universe.
Hmm.
So um, the aliens were the first, and yeah, so they're here a long time.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Kathy, you say Columbus saw a spaceship.
Yeah, I don't have the data in front of me. I just remember reading about it. And
Okay.
Hmm.
I was like, wow, that's something, because so much is based on Columbus, and Columbus isn't even real as far as the first person who discovered Americas. He
Right.
was not.
Right. He was not.
Um, they tried to glorify that, but he was not.
Right.
So, but anyway, he did. It did have a report that he did see a UFO, and they've happened all through since the beginning, really.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I
You
mean,
know.
not next time I can write some stuff up and do research and give you specifics. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I didn't know what we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. Yeah, we can always tie stuff over to the next
Yeah.
show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I want to.
Douglas says that this
Mhm.
is
Hmm.
why Enoch got taken out of the biblical scriptures. Doug, I agree with you because Enoch was the one that God was the only being, entity rather, that, and we really don't know whether Enoch was human, but Enoch was the only entity that God took straight to heaven and showed him around personally. And he also met with Enoch met with I don't it wasn't the walkers, the watchers. The watchers were a race too. They are a universal race, and they still exist. All of these watchers, all of these other universal races still exist. And so Enoch got a chance to sit down and talk with the watchers. But the weird thing is that Enoch was not allowed to return to Earth. Isn't that something? Did you know
Mm.
that, Doug? He, uh,
Yeah.
he said he saw that on Ancient. James said he saw that on Ancient Aliens too.
Right.
Right.
I want to go back a little bit back to what Kathy has spoke about with Columbus. It made me
Uh-huh.
think. It is a totally different look when you are out in the middle of the ocean. Uh,
Yeah.
Kathy probably can vouch for me on
Spooky.
that.
It's
You can,
spooky, isn't it?
well, it's not spooky. It's like being, I want to say, like in another dimension. And the reason
Yeah.
why I say that is because it looks like you can actually touch the stars and the moon with your
From
hand.
the ship.
Yeah.
Well, you are actually in another dimension. You're in a water dimension.
Well, that sounds about right.
We
Now,
have, we have fit 5 dimensions that we know about, parallel dimensions that we only know about, and that's earth, fire, wind, water,
hmm
and the universe.
right.
Those are only, but there are more dimensions than that
Mm,
because
Oh
we
yeah.
have not we have not learned about those that are so far out that our telescopes and things that we have sent into the universe cannot go any further than a certain distance.
right.
So there's so many other parallels that are out
Mm,
there, but we also have a lot of portals to other
Yeah.
parallel worlds that are right here on Earth. Every single planet has portals.
yeah.
So yeah, and so those
Can I
portals.
can I ask can I ask something about the water? Huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
About Tim.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the Syrian species is really part of the mermaids and all of that,
Oh,
um, and they're water elementals, and
okay.
so yes, so we have earth elemental spirits, water, air, and fire. That's what we have. We have
Mm-hmm.
4 elements which is spiritual to
Right.
us. I mean, we have that in us. People don't
Mm-hmm.
realize, but the Native Americans have it right down, and
Yes.
they have the four directions and all of that, and they pray to
Mm-hmm.
it and they ask for protection, and that
Mm-hmm.
that is what we should be doing. We should be doing what they're doing. I mean, I've been doing it for protection, and I know you do, Emily, but everyone should be. And that's what this show would be good to explain to people as well, is how do you protect yourself when people send negativity. Some people do it unknowing by thinking of you, and it kind of like you can feel their energy, even when
Yeah,
you don't want them to think of you, they think of you.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
they think of you in a sexual way, sometimes they think of you in a negative way, and all this stuff, and it gets mixed in your emotions, and you're like, that doesn't feel like me. Why am I thinking like that? Well, that's why you're thinking like that. But I just want to add another thing. For centuries, I don't practice it. They call it scrying. And people can actually look in tea leaves, which is water, or they can
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of things in water. But
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
can say what I've done in water. I've photographed amazing things in water because they are portals. And you can almost like just ask nature to show you something, it'll show you something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's how amazing it's
So
that
the water
magical.
is a
Yes.
good
But it
segue for me to go ahead
mhm.
and get into my subject because Tim touched on it with water, and you touched on it with mermaid, Kathy.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna go as fast as I can because I know that I want to get yours in here too. So I was born with a veil on my face, and I'm 74 in about 2 weeks. And all I knew about it was what the older people knew at that time. And when we were born, when my people, my generation was born, we were born at home. Midwives delivered us, and that's how they really definitely knew whether or not you had a veil over your face. And when we talk about veils, audience, we're not talking about the veils on the hats that the church people wear on their hats. What the veil is for a baby that's born with the veil is the symbiotic sac. I mean the amniotic sac, the sac that contains the fluid that the baby is in. Because the babies, did y'all know that as a baby we breathe and live in water?
Yeah.
That is in fluid, and so that's another. That's why I would tell you that's another parallel. The water is a parallel um, place with that cell. And so when the baby is born and born in the amniotic sac, it's sometimes the water will break, but the sac is still over the baby's face and maybe other baby's arms, and the midwife has to peel it off. And sometimes the baby is born in the whole sack, and they have to puncture the sack to let the water out so they can pull it out. So I don't know which one I was, but here's history. Seven biblical meanings of being born with the veil. When a baby is born with a veil, uh, this is a different veil, and I just explained all of that. It is a rare case, as they say, and it's called call, en, and y'all, I'm gonna type this in so y'all can do your research on it. Caul, which kind of puts me in mind of a Gual, which was um, an alien race from some of our earlier uh, space movies and series. But it's called call birth. And in more plain language, it only happens in one every 80,000 births. Wow. Isn't that something? Only happens in one in every 80,000 births. So I'm a rarity. And the biblical signs, and you guys out there can tell whether or not I've got some signs for you, and you can tell whether or not you were born with the veil over your face. Um, we don't know why it happens. They say maybe it's because the universe has special plans for that baby, or maybe other extremely strong forces want to hurt the infant. For whatever the reason, an in-call birth means the heavens have given more protection for that particular child. And there's a strong meaning, biblical meaning to this. Um, it can also mean that God is extremely protective of this small human being. While other infants no longer have the amniotic sac when they are born, as they come out of their mother's womb, these babies that are born with the veil do, and that's the difference. And that it is considered biblically as a sort of special favor. It's not a medical aberration or rarity, but instead it is because the heavens above are protected of this baby. And I wanted to get to the mermaid part. Okay, here is um, here is signs, and you can ask yourself whether or not audience and team, ask yourself if these things always happen to you, then you could have possibly been born with the veil over your face. Number one, you are accident prone. You have fallen out of the crib or bed, and Tim, you did one time. Uh, or as a baby, you were hurt while crawling, or you fell off a small bite. I did.
I did.
Tim fell off a bike, broke his arm, or you bumped off into furniture. I'm all the time bumping into furniture. Tim, do you bump into furniture a lot?
I have had my times. I had no idea that they were connected.
Kathy, what about you?
Most
No?
definitely.
Okay. Okay. It's saying
Yes,
it's
no,
not,
yes.
it's saying it's
Yes.
not because adults are watching over you. In fact, your parents or your caregiver are looking after you like a hawk. Um, it could be because you were born with that veil over your face, and that sack was meant to protect you. But for some reason, it comes off as a barrier from having fun with other small kids. Number two, you are fussy. I know that's me.
Yeah, that's definitely you. I
You
concur.
are fussy.
Yes, we
Tim, you're
can.
fussy too. You just when you want to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it say you the people with veils born on their face are very particular about how things should be done and the
Mm.
order of things. In
Yeah,
other
that's
words, they're very fussy people. When you have such a small tolerance for things that look disorganized, or you get annoyed at people who don't do things the proper way, then it could be because you were born with a veil.
mm.
Kathy, I think I saw that in you one time through an email about
Could be.
something.
Yeah.
Could be. It comes out every now and then.
Yeah.
I try not to do it often.
All right. It's like being fussy with things, except this time. It's
Mm.
all about trusting others.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that we need to spend a lot of time with people before we share things and feelings with them. And that is all because you were born with a veil. The veil is added as a layer meant to protect you, so take great pains to guard yourself too from other people. And that was what Kathy was talking about earlier. Another sign, you don't trust people.
yeah,
That's you two on that
yeah,
all the
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, you don't trust people because you were born with, you don't trust them easily. That's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
You become born with the extra protection with the cover that should have not been there. So, in that first place anymore. So, you cannot take the words of others lightly. You do not take what other people have to say at face value. Um, People cannot expect you to trust them easily. They need to earn your trust. They need to work hard to prove themselves worthy of your time, attention, and confidence. I know that's true with me. Okay, let's see. I think some of my stuff got mixed up here because there was a fourth one.
Yeah,
Um,
I got questions.
okay, okay, go ahead.
um, now, as much as I know about a veil over your face, right?
Yeah.
It's
Uh-huh.
pretty much what I've seen from movies, and you guys out there probably can coincide with me on this. Like the movie, I see dead people, uh, or you're
Yeah.
able to predict or see something before it happens. So, with what Hollywood has shown us, does that line
Mhm.
up in that area?
It can because I've always saw people that my mom and everybody around me didn't see. I often tell a story about how I'd be playing outside. I'd be just talking to somebody, and my mama would ask me, or my granddaddy would ask me, who was I talking to? And I would ask them, that lady or that man? And they say, what man or what lady? What girl, you know? And they couldn't see the person that I was talking to. Not only that, I used to see them so much in the nighttime at bedtime. I hated going to bed at bedtime because
Mm.
they found mom would turn out the lights. She didn't leave the night light on for me. That's why I always left the night light on for my son, right, Tim?
Yeah.
And I think Tim still uses his night light, and I still use mine.
There
but
you have it. Been exposed.
yeah, I used to wake up in the middle of the night in a dark room and see dead people. One time I saw this soldier in a uniform standing over me, and it was an old fashioned uniform, like from the 1800s. I don't know who the heck that was, but it scared me into a seizure. So, and that was the only
Oh,
thing.
great.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that Elaine Presley has captured some of them. They're very active, those ghosts in Tennessee. A lot
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
are like soldiers from the 1800s
Mhm.
that were camped there. And
Yeah.
she's shown me pictures where we closed up on it, and there was even like an American Red Cross on a tent, on a white tent, and you could
Wow.
see inside the tent, through the tent. I mean, I have
Wow.
some of these. I'll ask her permission to show them if you'd like.
Sure. James
So,
said I got hit
yeah.
in the head with a rock thrown from the second floor. Does that count? No, because you weren't accident prone on that. That was somebody that hit you.
Now,
Um, okay, James says that his nightlight is the TV.
yeah, mine too.
Uh, and then
Hmm.
Doug says that children are more susceptible to the spirit realm. That's true.
Now,
Yeah, definitely.
now,
Well,
yeah,
that's why I even when I posted the flyer today,
Hmm.
it's Roger Waters' birthday, from Pink Floyd, and he has this song about leave the kids alone. They don't need any education. They don't need no mind control, because
Uh-huh.
that's what it's all about. It's really, it's about once you get to this society, your mind gets wiped out. You don't know about your divineness, and then
Yeah.
you have to struggle here. And so,
right.
but the kids are more open to everything. So I know when I was a child, my sister and I had an attic bedroom in one of the houses, and an old man used to wake me up every night. He would tap
Hmm.
on my back, and
Hmm.
um, and so we would run down the stairs. I was usually the first one to wake up. My sister would just follow me running because she believed
Hmm.
me. And
Well,
I'd be
my spirits
terrible.
never talked.
There's a ghost there, yeah, and they didn't
Mine,
believe
mine,
it.
mine never talked to me. Did yours talk to you?
No, just poked me in the back. But the thing is, it went with me. It lasted with me so long because I was afraid to sleep on my side and expose my back to the openness of the
I'm talking
bed.
about the ones in the night. I'm not talking about when I was a little kid.
No, no, I
Like
know.
you know, you,
Yeah.
like you say, you were
Mhm.
sleeping. Like when I was awakened in the middle of the night and saw the ghosts, the spirits, or the entities, or whatever. They never
Yeah.
said a word. They just stood there, and that's what's so scary.
Well,
That
he
was
just
what's so
looked
scary.
grumpy. He just looked grumpy, like, "What are you doing in my room? What are
Yeah.
you doing there?" Kind of
Now,
thing.
now
Yeah.
this veil that we speak of, right?
Hmm.
I
Mhm.
think I heard it best described by Dick Gregory, who was a motivational speaker.
Hmm.
He described it as he said, "It's putting on glasses and seeing things for what it actually are,
Hmm.
and never being able to take them off." So, with that being said, is this also a blessing as well as a curse?
For me, I always have. Well, for me, as a little girl and as a teenager growing up, I didn't understand it. To me, it was a curse then. But as I became older, came into my spirituality even more and wiser, I look at it as a blessing
Mm,
because I can actually recognize good people from bad people just by when I first meet them.
mm,
And for a lot of people, that would be scary to
mm-hmm,
them,
mm-hmm.
and it's like this. It's really weird. Like, okay, say for instance, y'all know Sybil and I are best friends, and we usually meet the same people or have some of the people in the same circles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sybil might connect straight away with them, but then I won't and I can't. And I know why I can't, but I can't explain it or
Yeah,
expose,
yeah,
because I'm not one of these persons that if you're not friends with so and so, I mean, if I'm not friends with so and so, I don't want you to be friends with them.
right.
Or if I'm friends with so and so, then I want you to be friends with them. I want her to have her own friends
Mm-hmm.
and or her associates in a circle, and I have mine. Sometimes some of them are the same, but many times they are not. Hi, Donnie. Donnie is with us too. She's an evangelist and she has a site. She's a seer too. She says, yes, it's a blessing and a curse at times.
Mm,
So you're so right,
Yeah.
evangelist.
yeah.
And but it's a true thing. Um, And she says this seems to be true. She says, when I was younger, I felt more spiritual things, but I still feel a lot of spiritual stuff, right?
Yeah, I think it's more, not to be sexist, but I think there's more on certain aspects of it on the female side. And the reason why I say that is I go back to older days, even being grandmother.
Hmm.
You women would say it's something about them. I don't like them. It's just something's not
Yeah. I love
right.
that.
So I never
You're right
understood
about
it.
that too.
Right, I never understood it,
But
and they
Like,
would
I can say, can I say something about that?
yeah
Yeah, we have a thing in us, women, female, and it's like a radar, and it's
yeah
because we're maternal and we give birth to children, so we're the protectors of the children. So yeah,
right.
so that's why a lot of civilizations really revered women as leaders and leadership, because they could tell the difference between, they had the discernment between good people and not good people, and who you should watch out for, who you
Right.
shouldn't. That's why it's such a shame that all the politicians are males, because they don't have the same discernment that we have. And I have to say that.
Yeah,
you're so right.
I would
You're
have to
so
agree
right,
with
Kevin.
that. But and it's only as a kid I didn't understand it. I
Yeah.
thought it was just being old and grumpy and didn't like anybody. But as I got older and I had my children, everything that was said came to pass, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
I can
right.
remember experiencing a lot of that not until I had children. And
Mhm.
yeah, so
Then
I was
yeah, you
like,
can say you could tell something about their
right,
friends.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
because I mean,
so
I'll be honest. With my first husband, I was the one who saw the danger. He never saw
hmm.
anything,
really.
so I had to work double time.
Yeah, I
Seriously,
imagine so,
he,
huh?
he didn't pay attention. Yeah, sometimes, so it's helpful to have a guy who can be helpful that way, because
Yeah,
then you're working twice as hard. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Evangelist Donnie said men do have that in, too, Tim, but they just don't want to admit it.
I don't
Hmm.
doubt. Yeah, I can agree to a certain degree. I don't doubt that we don't have it.
Yeah.
To me, it was just in the family setting. It was
Yeah.
more of the women.
Yeah, women are
Yeah, because
more,
we
we
had to tell you that we had to
differ.
protect you all.
Right,
Had to protect
Hmm.
you. And we
right,
tell you, you can't hang around playing with those kids no more. Or
right.
that kid
Exactly.
anymore.
Right.
Doug said just like Eve could telepathically communicate to animals. Well, I don't know. Maybe she could. I can't say that's true or not true.
I can't
No,
agree.
I think I read that, but the thing is, yeah, if you're in tuned, you can communicate with animals, and that's a good way to tell if you're an empath or if animals gravitate towards you. That is a
Well,
very good
animals
Yeah.
way.
always gravitate toward me. I mean,
Right.
I've always had animals all my life. Cats or dogs, and I can communicate with my dog just with a look, and or she can uh, maybe think that. I mean, she can tell what I'm thinking. So I guess
Hmm.
that's some form of telepathic communication. James says, I'm hoping someday to see a female president. I think she would get more respect.
Well,
Um,
I you know what? It's
Tim and I
funny.
both was like,
It's but
I
it's
don't
Well,
know,
funny
but
that
let's
that
be
it's
optimistic. Let's be
it's
optimistic, you guys.
but
Let's just say, let's say it does. Okay.
I
here's
don't
the
Let's
think
hope
thing.
she
that
does.
Here's the thing. It's
I don't
funny
think we're
that he would
advanced
say.
enough.
It's funny that he would say that because prior to coming on to the show,
Uh-huh.
I just read an article where
Uh-huh.
Kamala Harris was
Mm.
saying that she might have to step in, and if she
Oh,
was,
really?
yes, and if she was having to step in to finish out the candidacy, that she was ready. So it's kind
Oh,
of ironic.
really?
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that he would mention that. But yeah, I just
Oh.
read that before the show.
Okay,
Well,
Douglas says
I,
that there was no
mhm,
language just after human creation. Well, that's true. But they
Mm.
had made
mhm.
sounds. They made sounds, Doug. So that was that way of communication. They made grunts and sounds. You talking about?
Well,
Are you talking about the cavemen or what?
They had their
not
own
that far
form
back.
of communication.
I
They
don't
still
think that.
communicated.
Mhm.
Everything has their
Yeah.
own way of communicating because you can put our dog can see a cat and they gonna communicate, right?
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
A elephant can see a lion, or
Yeah.
predators.
Right.
Predators can
Yeah.
communicate with their prey, and their prey
I just
can
want to,
receive the
yeah.
communication.
Go ahead, Kat.
See, we have to be really grounded onto the earth, because now all this extra electricity, wires, all this stuff. But
And it's too
when you're
noisy,
grounded,
right?
yeah, but when you're grounded into the earth, then you're going to receive a lot more messages, and that's what the people did. That's how they survived back then in the primitive days. Is they were
Yeah,
given an extra instinct. They weren't distracted, and they were very connected to the earth.
yeah.
Yes, and animals.
Makes
And
sense.
they watched the animals, see what they would do, and they would follow them, and they would revere them. As a matter of fact, some of the shamans travel with animal spirits into other realms and dimensions. That's how they do it. They can't do it without connecting to an animal spirit.
That's
Oh,
true.
okay.
Evangelist says she would like us to have a female male Memphis. Now that part I could agree with the evangelist Donnie. So we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna let Kathy do her segment, and I'm gonna show her books, and then I'm gonna segue into when we were talking about the quiet time. You were saying, we were saying it was too noisy, and
Mhm.
there's a similarity. There's a similar thing that happens to a lot of people. You wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. There's a biblical reason for that. I'm going to cover that briefly after you, Kathy. Okay, and we're going to take a break,
Okay.
and we will be back. So you guys look, stick and stay, and don't go away.
What is a VPN and how does it work? All about it in this video. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It's a tool that encrypts your internet traffic and hides your IP address and virtual location. What's a VPN used for? A virtual private network significantly boosts your online privacy and security. Thanks to its encryption, third parties cannot spy on your online activity. Even your internet service provider cannot see what you do online. A VPN also allows you to overcome internet censorship. All your traffic is routed through a remote server, so you can access websites restricted in your country. Here are 5 cases when you definitely need a VPN. 1. You want to secure your online data. You need an extra layer of protection when you're online. Not all websites use HTTPS, a secure communication protocol where S stands for secure. If you're visiting a website without a HTTPS, the data you send or receive can be stolen by cybercriminals or other third parties. Unsecure apps also leak your data, but how do you know if the app you're using is secure? You don't. Apps are like black boxes, and it's anyone's guess if they follow the best cybersecurity practices. Since a VPN encrypts all your internet traffic, you don't need to worry about unsecure websites or apps. That extra layer of encryption makes sure your online data is safe. 2. You want to access blocked websites. If you want to use YouTube in China, VPN is the answer. It changes your IP address and redirects your internet traffic through a remote server, letting you browse under the cover of its IP and access blocked websites. Similarly, VPN lets you stay at home, at least virtually, even when you're traveling. You won't miss your favorite content when you're abroad. 3. You often use unsecure connections. Public Wi-Fi is inherently unsecure. If you spend a lot of time on public hotspots, in hotels, airports, or coffee shops, a VPN protection is a must. Without it, a cybercriminal can use many methods to spy on your internet traffic, steal your data, or inject malware into your device. When on public Wi-Fi, VPN must always be on. 4. You want to avoid unlawful government surveillance. Governments usually have direct or indirect access to internet service providers operating in their jurisdiction. It varies from country to country, but your government may use this access to actively track your online activity. Thanks to all kinds of intergovernmental agreements, they may also share this information with other countries. A VPN hides your online activity from all third parties, including your internet service provider and government. 5. You use file sharing services. Peer-to-peer services have many legal and valid uses. Distributing open source software or public domain videos, sharing large amounts of internal information in an organization, or even pushing service updates. And yet, internet service providers try to discourage their users from peer-to-peer services by setting bandwidth limits. Use a VPN. With it, your ISP can't see your traffic and limit your peer-to-peer sharing. Who can use VPN services? Short answer, everyone. A freelancer trying not to spill her latte on her laptop. A gamer avoiding bandwidth throttling. A traveler enjoying his favorite content on the move. A VPN is like a Swiss Army knife. You can use it depending on your needs. Whether you're a student overcoming unreasonable Wi-Fi restrictions at your school, or a business owner securing sensitive work data. P.S. When working remotely, always use a VPN. Business data is too sensitive to be sent and received without an extra layer of security. Or maybe you're a journalist working under an autocratic regime. Without VPN protection, your freedom or even life could be in jeopardy. The idea behind a VPN is truly simple. Everyone deserves a secure and unrestricted internet. By encrypting your traffic and hiding your IP, a VPN makes it a reality. What is an IP address? IP, or Internet Protocol Address, is a string of numbers that identifies your device when you connect to the internet. Without it, devices and servers couldn't exchange information. All your devices have a local IP address. When they connect to the internet, your router assigns them a public IP. Every website you visit can see this public IP and your physical location. What's more, online spies can look up online activity associated with a particular IP address. Your IP, location, and online activity are all important data points for someone who's spying on you and trying to make a detailed profile. When you use a VPN, you first connect to a remote VPN server, making it seem like you're browsing from another place with a different IP address. Your online activity cannot be traced back to you through your IP. How does a VPN work? When you connect to a VPN, it creates an encrypted tunnel that secures data traveling between you and the VPN server. To secure each data packet, a VPN wraps it in an outer packet, which is then encrypted through encapsulation. Your data stays safe during transfer. When it arrives at the server, the outer packet is decrypted. A VPN protocol is the key to VPN technology. It's a set of encryption standards used to create a secure connection between two devices. VPN providers commonly support a couple of such protocols. OpenVPN, the most popular of them, is used by the majority of VPN providers in the world. It's highly configurable and offers a nice balance between speed and security, as you can use it on both TCP and UDP ports. Internet Key Exchange version 2 is a tunneling protocol, usually paired with IPsec for encryption. It adapts well to network changes, making it an excellent choice for phone users who often switch between Wi-Fi and mobile connection. NordVPN has also implemented a next-generation VPN tunneling solution. That's NordLynx, built around WireGuard, the fastest tunneling protocol out there. WireGuard is insanely fast and lean. It's made just of 4,000 lines of code. Less code means less space for errors. It's easy to deploy, audit, and debug. NordLynx provides higher speed and security, and works like a charm. How to set up NordVPN? It's easier than you think. Once you download NordVPN and get the subscription, just open the app, be it on PC, Mac, or smartphone. Log in. Use the same credentials you used to sign up. Click to connect. You can choose the Quick Connect button, which automatically selects the most suitable server, or pick a location from the map. NordVPN adheres to a strict no-logs policy. Your online activity is your business. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.
Smushy butt, mushy cushy tushy butt, skinny butt, spinny with your mini butt, roly butt, eat your mustacholi butt, bony butt, riding on a pony butt, achy butt, drop it on dad's heady butt, naked butt, stop. Put a Huggies on that butt, cause only Huggies is the #1 fitting diaper with a curved and stretchy fit. So no matter what kind of butt you got, we got you, baby.
All right, we are back.
All right.
This is this is a good time to get your VPN if you don't have it, because people are really hacking into our stuff. And even when they don't know if you got money or not, they're just trying to see if you got any. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim says, not her, Tim, another one. I, I don't know. I missed that one.
Me
I
too.
missed that one.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
don't know.
either what it means.
Okay, Kathy, you're on deck.
I am. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, what do you
Yeah,
want me to
and
talk about?
I'm
You
gonna be
said you're going to show my book, so. Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna be pulling up your book. So let me go ahead and get it on the screen. It's gonna kick us over to the side. We have the back cover and the front cover. Um, I gotta pull it up first. All right, entire screen. It's just some audio. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Can y'all
Yeah,
hear me?
I can hear
Okay,
you.
great.
Mhm.
Because I forgot to. Yeah, because I forgot to. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Hold on. I had it.
Are you going to go to my first book or my second book?
Um,
Because you should
I'm trying to
second
see
book.
which one is it?
That's my
Is
second
that
book.
one?
That's my second book.
Okay.
That's my second book.
Can you blow it up some?
Okay, so let me. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I got. I think I would paste the second book. Oh yeah, this is really small, isn't it? All right, so let me
Yeah.
see. Zoom. I know Zoom is in here somewhere. Hold on. Just gotta find it.
That's okay.
Um, hold on. Well, you can go ahead and show your hard copies while I'm zooming this. We can work together at the same
Which
time.
copy?
To view.
But they can't
Um.
see me because I'm too small too. But I can show them my
Oh,
first book.
okay, okay.
My
Let me
first book
stop showing. Okay, I
is
think it'll be best. See, I'll let you show it.
oh,
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
kind of got a thing on there. It's called Beyond the Veil of Sedona. And now that you mentioned veils, that's kind
Hmm.
of there. If I put it back here, this is better. But it's got a fairy on it, and the
Yeah.
artwork was done by Jessica Galbraith. And I met her in Colorado at a book conference. And I also met Louise Hay, who is a phenomenal. She was in her 90s. She passed away. But their book company actually wanted to publish our books, our
Wow.
first book. But yeah, but they were doing a book on orbs, and they said the photography books were taking up too much of their time. So they ended up having to pass because it was not only expensive, but it was also time consuming. But I was so honored to have met her, Louise Hay, because she had such great
Yeah.
positive, things for people to live for. But basically, what did you want me to talk about? That was the
What
first book. It was kind of hard
what,
to. Mm-hmm.
yeah, what is the book about?
Okay. Well, basically, I'll just tell you what's on the back of it, what I said about it, because there's so much to go through. But my
Yeah.
twin sister and I, we also go by pseudonym author names. So we're Kathy
Uh-huh.
and Colleen Carlson, but we also go by Cassandra and Selena Cloverleaf.
Okay.
So, everybody, I don't know, not everybody knows I have an identical twin, but that's how we're also telepathic because we grew up telepathic. So,
Okay.
but before we were even born, um, actually, and this happens once in a while, people remember their pre birth before they come to Earth. And
Mhm.
I remember just kind of floating in space, but it felt really good. I didn't have like a physical body, but I was supposed to go somewhere. So I ended up going to this, like, seriously, a planet that my sister was at. And then I met up with my parents and my brothers, and we all talked about how life on Earth was going to be. And we chuckled about it because we knew it wasn't going to be easy. And then my sister and I were born preemies. We were born only 2 pounds each. And so I don't know if we had a sack. Yeah, I don't know if we had a sack, because if you put us together, we still would have been premature, because premature is considered 5.
Well, aren't you a blessing?
So we were in incubators. Thank you. Yeah. We were in incubators for 2 months, goodness. Actually. My mom said we were as small as Barbie dolls. And we were like ballet dancers. We were always dancing, moving around. So, but anyway, I remember the birth process. I can
remember being born too. And when I used to tell people that, they say, "Oh, I can't about to remember them being born." I said, "I
didn't know you had as much experiences as I did till we talked last Friday, and we realized it."
So
everything was quiet. This is the way my being born experience was. Everything was quiet, and all of a sudden, I hear people talking, and I'm falling backwards. And then I heard one lady say, "Here she comes! You got a girl! It's a girl! Look at that!" And that's what I remember.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, let me ask you.
Well, I remember that my sister. Can I finish this up first? I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Well, my sister and I were given last rites by the priest because we were so small. They didn't think we were going to make it. And so my sister was second, and she was a blue baby when she was born, and she was deprived of oxygen. And while we were in the womb, before we were born, I had to convince her to be born because she said that I knew she didn't want to be born. And in a lot of cases, twins, one of them ends up being stillborn or something. So she was changing her mind. And I told her that I would always take care of her. And I was the firstborn. But the ironic part was, as we got older and even into our 60s and COVID happened, she actually blames me for being born first and depriving her of oxygen. So you can never win. She always tells the story. She says it's her fault. She was born first. No one knows who's going to be.
That's really funny. Doug says
the way life goes.
Doug says that he was a preemie too. He was 2.5.
Wow, 2.5. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
We were about 7 months. Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you, right, Kathy, I don't think I've had an opportunity to ask a twin this. What I have noticed, let me get to the first question. Where did you all's language of communication come from? Was it already there?
No, we spoke an alien language till we were 4, and nobody could understand us. And
really?
And yeah. And my grandmother said that as clear as a bell. And it's so funny because she was kind of old fashioned, but she didn't even believe in ghosts, or at least she made us believe she didn't believe in ghosts because she didn't want us to be frightened because we lived in a haunted house. But besides that, my grandmother said she didn't even know if we could speak English because we spoke our own language. She said it was an alien language until the age of 4.
Yeah, that's a good time. 4 years. That's a stretch.
Doug says, I remember being anxious to be born, even though I was in the dark and not needing to breathe.
Yeah.
Well, you were breathing, but you were breathing in the water, in the amniotic fluid. And the other thing about water, we was talking about the spiritual element and how it's a parallel all by itself. Another dimension. I am a water drawer. In other words, water draw me. I cannot go back around big bodies of waters. That's why I've never been on a cruise. That's why I've never been on a boat. I found out when I was carrying Tim, I almost walked off a cliff into the, I think it was the Michigan Lake or the Ontario Lake when we were visiting in Chicago. And I was 7 months pregnant with him, and they had to catch me. And they said they just happened to look around. We went out we were visiting family up there, and they just wanted to go down to the river, and I had never been to the river, and that's why I never after that I never let any dates take me down to the Mississippi River.
Hey, but you know what? You know what's funny about that? My sign is a Pisces, which is the water sign.
I know that's
Yeah.
another thing, and the thing about it is, you would never believe this. When I was carrying you, I was in my fifth month, and I woke up, and there was these two claws on my stomach, on top of my stomach. And I'm allergic to seafood. I don't eat seafood, but they were like lobster claws.
Oh
And,
boy.
yeah, and that's what you ended up being. You ended up being a Pisces.
Wow.
So it's so weird.
Wow.
You know? Evangelist says, y'all talk about being born with a veil over one's face, right? Uh huh. You were born with a veil over your face, right, Danny? Yeah. Uh huh.
So Kathy,
And
go ahead.
I'm sorry, you wanted to ask the question, and I wanted to
No,
finish my twin birth story. Go ahead.
right, yeah. No,
Um,
I asked the one I think that was on my mind, but what the second one that I want to ask, do you all still feel when one or the other is going through something or something is happening to one? Do y'all
yeah, but I've learned to shut that off right now, because the reason why I shut it off, because you can kind of shut those things down sometimes,
okay.
is because you become people get dependent on you because you can
mhm,
help them all the time,
Gotcha.
and
mhm,
those people need to help themselves.
Gotcha.
So I had to kind of go within in the last year. That's what I've done, and we talked about that,
mhm.
Emily. I've become like a hermit in the last year, because I've done a lot of
Mhm.
self-reflection, and I've healed a lot of childhood wounds.
Yeah.
And everyone has trauma from
Right.
childhood, no matter what.
Right.
Hmm.
And
Right.
if you believe in previous lives, you have trauma from those previous lives. And so
Mhm.
sometimes they just carry on from life to life, and then you're going to have to clear it somehow. And so you have to go to the dark night of the soul. You really literally do. And it feels like you're in a nightmare, because you have to tap into emotions that are very painful. And then
Hmm.
you
Mhm.
have to sort out, and then you come out a lot lighter and a lot more tuned in. But I didn't reconnect with my sister because I don't want her to be codependent on me. And too
Gotcha.
many people have been my whole life. And I've never
Yeah.
been able to take care of myself properly because of it.
Mhm.
Understood.
You've
Understood.
been you're a servant like me,
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
Evangelist Danny says yes, she was born with the veil over her face. But Danny, I never tell you this before. I knew that when I first met you, and I heard you tell the story about on your son on your Sunday school show that you had attended our Orange Flix Mix, where we were auditioning for our movie and raising funds for our movie. And you said that I just came up to you and just asked you, would you sing in my movie? she said, she said, I didn't know who that woman was. She said, I mean, I knew she was in charge of the event. She said, but I didn't know who that woman was. And she said, she
Mm-hmm.
just came right up to me, just asked me, I want you to sing in my movie. Will you sing in my movie? Yes, Donnie, I did that because I could see that you were a very special individual, and you were like me, like people can see each other, and I knew that you were a seer, and I was just magnetically drawn to you like that. Usually, like Kathy, I'm magnetically drawn to Kathy, and which is very unusual because Tim can tell you I've had a lot of co-hosts to come on the show, and so, they stay a minute and they just go, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Kathy has been here a while, and I don't think she's planning on going anywhere.
No, I'm not going anywhere. The more I find out about you, Emily, the more I love you.
Oh yeah, I love
Oh,
you too.
beautiful,
I
beautiful,
Yeah.
do.
beautiful, beautiful.
Kathy, what
Now,
about
Well,
your
you too,
second
Tim.
book?
You too,
Wait, Tim,
Tim.
hold on, Tim.
thank you.
What about
Hmm.
your second book? What is it about?
Oh, okay. yeah. So anyway, I want to tell you what the first book is about because it's just in my summary. It's a good thing. Well, it even says Kathy and Colleen Carlson, aka Cassandra and Selena Cloverleaf, are identical twins who have shared unique telepathic experiences from the time they were born. They invite you to share their metaphysical adventures so that you may be able to experience them for yourself. Photographic revelations. While photographing nature in their own backyards, at first orbs appeared, then nature spirits, including the fairy realm, revealed themselves in digital photographs. One of the many reasons why these photographs are extraordinary is that Sedona, Arizona is well known for its vortex and portal energies. They give tips on how to locate fairies and nature spirits and where they can be found. And then the purpose of the book is, our hope is that humankind will appreciate nature and other life forms that exist. Let us join together in a very magical and mystical way. We can live and prosper in harmony and gain a greater knowledge of kinship with all creation for future generations while protecting Mother Earth, Gaia. And then it's Henry David Thoreau is a quote at the back. It says, "In wilderness is the preservation of the world." Yes.
Nice. Nice.
That's the first book.
Very nice.
And then,
Evangelist says Sybil was on her show tonight.
Oh,
that's
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Congrats, Sybil.
And then the second book. Oh, sorry.
No, the second book.
Okay. Beyond the Cloak of California.
Okay.
The Cloak
of California.
Cloak, like a cloak, like a coat.
Oh,
or
the
a cloak.
cloak. Yeah.
Yeah, a cloak. And so I ended up moving back from Sedona to California to help my mom out who had dementia. So in the meantime, I wrote this second book. Now I put my sister's name on it, but because I always like to share, like I say, sometimes to a fault. But I wrote and did most of the photography, but I'll give her credit because I wanted to continue with the series. But the next two books, I'm just going to put my name on it. But it says, what makes Beyond the Cloak of California so unique? It includes authentic dryad, mermaid, ghost, coyote, wolf, shapeshifter, fairy, and nature spirit photos, all taken in Southern California. It says they invite you to share their metaphysical adventures so you might be able to experience them for yourself. Beyond the Cloak of California even goes further in their exploration and narrative with the inclusion of fascinating paranormal photographs that include a mermaid, a tree dryad, a mountain lion spirit, like I mentioned. And the biggest thing was the ghost of my father, Ed, who passed in 1997. So, and it does show a few of those photographs, and I had taken them in Southern California by the beach, and it totally amazed me because I hadn't expected it. But I know where to look for fairies in their the trees and what they like. But anyway, and it says, as with their first book, they hope you too will appreciate the mysteries that exist beyond the cloak of three-dimensional reality. And by becoming more in tune to our surroundings, realize we are indeed Mother Earth's guardians. Okay. The supernatural is, and it says, another quote, Albert Hubbard, the supernatural is the natural, just yet not understood.
That's true. I agree with that. That's beautiful. What Kathy, do you still sell those books? Where can they buy them?
Well, I have a website they can order from that. It's S like Sam, N like nature, S like spirits. So snspirits.com, or they can go to Waterbearer Press. Waterbearerpress.com, and both of our books are on consignment through the person, Patricia, who runs that site. So Waterbearer press.com.
Is that correct?
Now, yes, it is. Thank you. Now, maybe next time I'll get you a slideshow, because I know we didn't have much preparation for the first show, but I used to do seminars, so we can do a slideshow and I can show you it.
Yeah, just put it into an MP4. Yeah, make it.
Yeah,
but if you don't know how to make it into MP4, I will. Just send it to me.
Yeah,
and
okay. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
Tim,
I've just taken a lot.
So excited about this.
I've taken so many photographs here in New Mexico. It blew me away. But of course, the UFOs. Someone took a picture of me. There was an ET next to me. I had no idea. We were camping, and things like that. And also, nature spirits are in Native American spirits, because Geronimo was born close to here, and a lot of the Native Americans went right down.
Mexico, I know. Yeah, you got a lot of spirits around you right now.
A lot.
Too many to even try to count or think about. Doug says magnificent literature based on truth and belief. He loves it, Kathy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, these books. The first one was done in 2007, and the second one was done in 2009. And we used digital cameras, but now even the phones are even better than the digital cameras used to be. But you will be able to see. I think most people will be able to see.
Okay.
So
Tim been holding that question for a long time. What is it, Tim?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I'm asking it, because I think it's a question that everybody wants to know the answer to, and we may have it and we may not.
Okay.
The question being, are our aliens, who go by many names, are they here for the good of mankind or the destruction of mankind?
Well, the ones that are working with the evil people are evil, and the ones
aliens are kind of like people. You got good ones, you got bad ones, and you got some that's in between.
Makes sense.
Because aliens have war among themselves too,
right?
Just like humans have war among themselves, and they have been forever, since way before the beginning of time.
Right. So
for the most part, aliens don't want to see planets destroyed. I know that.
Gotcha. But by that
being bad or good, they don't want to see planets destroyed because the planets are really, really old, and those that are older, the ones that they lived on from like way before, trillions of years ago, they are already destroyed, and there's only so many livable planets that they could go to, and so their resources are diminishing. Right. So, and because of so many millions and millions and millions of years, right. And there are a lot of new stars being born, but not planets.
Right.
So I know that good or bad aliens don't want to see any planets destroyed.
Right. Now,
whether they bad or good, yeah.
Now, that being said, we know for
Tim, that's your line. Now, with that being said,
right.
He's got a questioning mind. I told him.
It just operates that way. Now, that being said, we know that our technology has been given from them. The question is, what did were we or are we giving them in exchange?
That's
See what happened with the technology. They had the technology and they spoon fed us the technology, right? Because if you go back to the original side of the original cell phone, it's about half of your arm. And now we're down.
I remember. Yeah.
Right, and we're down to phones that we can literally hold in the palm.
Well, see, what you have to understand is we have aliens that take on many forms, and these aliens are smart. So we got plenty of them already here that take on human form, that do these things. They already know how to do these things. That's how they come up with these ideas. It wasn't the guy with what's the guy with the Microsoft company name? Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Bill. Bill Gates. It wasn't Bill Gates that created the Microsoft
Wasn't on
computer.
he bought it.
It was somebody that worked for him.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It was these creators, these engineers, and all these people. Those are the same with NASA. Those people that work at NASA, some of them already are in alien, in human form, but they're alien. So they walk among us.
Right.
You might see one. You might see one in a grocery store somewhere and not really realize it, because they have to be in every sector of society so that they can report to the what was it, Cathy, the Universal Council? What's the name of it? Intergalactic Council.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like down here, like.
But can I say something else? Not only is there a Galactic Federation, there's a Council of Light as well. There's both.
Yeah, and they have to report in, so they're in every sector of life because they study. We are under a microscope to the aliens. We always have been, and that's the reason why because of the technology that we have now, we're only just arriving to be considered by the aliens as the fifth race of the universe. You say, James they say that if you lose track of time, and when you come back, time has gone by, you could have been abducted by aliens. They say. Has anybody ever heard of that before? Yes, James, I've heard of it. But I have never experienced it. My experience was that I actually saw a UFO. But yeah, I do have heard many people testify that they don't know what happened to them. They've lost a block of time. They've lost an hour, or they lost 4 hours, or they lost 6 hours of time. Now, I can say this, and James had a comment that it was funny. He said, when you were talking about the big phone that was big as your arm, he said the brick phone. He said he had one of those brick phones too.
Yeah.
But let me just say this. Sometimes when people lose time, they actually have a seizure and blackout. It's a medical issue that they really don't even know that they have epilepsy. And they'll have a seizure, they'll black out, and they'll wake up, and then they look at their watch, and then they just don't remember because because a seizure to them, it was just a minute ago or a second ago. But a seizure can last as long as 4 hours or 6 hours. It's not, you're not actually seizing. The seizure is really just around about 30 to 60 seconds, but your body will just black out so it can regroup, and and get you regenerated and get you woke back up. But seizures are very dangerous. Epilepsy can kill you. You can die from a seizure too.
What are you going to say, Tim?
No, I was just saying in the beginning of the show, you were talking about deja vu, right?
Yeah.
I've heard it be explained as a glitch in the Matrix.
What do you mean, the glitch in the Matrix?
Have you ever seen the movie The Matrix? Cathy, I'm sure you've seen it.
Oh, you're talking about The Matrix, M-A-X,
right.
M-A-T-R-I-X,
right?
Like the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's time traveling back in different time parallels. Yes.
Yeah, you are into parallels. That's why I say it could be. That's why I said at the beginning.
It could be that they lose time because of that, James. I would say that the majority of people who are abducted, that's happened with, but some people remember things, but they frighten themselves then. So I had an experience I was actually abducted, and when I was abducted, I actually said to them that that I wouldn't cooperate unless I could remember everything. So they complied.
Really?
Because I said I didn't want to have any mental health issues like the other people who got abducted. Because they do. Because there's in their brain, they can't put it together. That's exactly right.
And
they get James. Let me get James coming in.
Okay.
James says, and Emily, after the seizure, it makes you tired and you sleep a lot. That's so true. So true, James. So that's why some people lose track of time because they don't even know that they got epilepsy. Because you got some people that will not go to doctors for annual checkups, or go to the doctor for even in 2 or 3 years just to get a checkup. And a lot can change with your body chemically, your pH balance get off, and a whole lot of little things can happen that will lead you into the thing. But the thing about epilepsy has always amazed me because James said he had a seizure like me. Yeah. And I've been having them since I was like 8 years old. Like I said, after I saw that man, that's the earliest I remember having them. I think my mother said I was having them before then. But yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention, it's not a proper term to say abducted, really, because in my case, I am a starseed, so I'm not really being abducted.
You were what?
I'm a starseed. I'm a starseed, what they call starseed. So I do have aliens.
Explain that terminology. Starseed. What is that?
Well, we have DNA, like we were talking last time, round table. From the Egyptians, way before even the Egyptians, when the aliens were here. But then there's also Earth Angel type people are here on assignment, and they actually have been on other planets, and they have a lot of different actual alien DNA from a lot of the actual different species that we were discussing. So, and there's a lot.
Yeah, we're on that DNA.
But we're cooperating. We're not being abducted because
that's what I was going to say about the DNA. People that have epilepsy has alien DNA because a lot of the kings had epilepsy. A lot of royalties, royal people of England. Henry VIII had it, epilepsy. A lot of the popes had epilepsy. Pope back in the during the England time, they had epilepsy. Let's see who was was it Einstein? I think Einstein had epilepsy, but a lot of people that made significant changes in history had epilepsy. And I think I saw on this documentary that it was tied to alien DNA. And we were talking about Michelangelo. I'm going to try to make sure, see if I can get a picture of Michelangelo.
Oh, Michelangelo.
Yeah. And he was saying his excuse was that he was using heroin to control his epilepsy. His sickness, they call it sickness. James said that his seizure was from his brain operation, and they took him off meds too fast when they should have winded him off slowly. It was scary waking up in the hospital and not knowing why or what had happened. I know that's right, James.
Yeah, I imagine it was. Wow.
Well, all right then. This has been a great show.
Yep.
And we got to let the questions go, but we'll let them carry over to next time. I'm not going to talk about why God wakes you up at 3 a.m. I'll do that on the next show. Why God wakes you up at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. So Tim, your closing comments.
Wow, man, this is really good. This is a good show.
You like this one?
I feel
this gonna be your favorite one, huh?
Yeah, I think it's gonna take off. Because right now it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And people naturally.
Yeah, almost every time if you look at the internet, every single news station is reporting something about unidentified objects or unidentified this or that.
Yeah, and like I was saying on the show that we did the other night, where they are releasing a lot of their information to the public.
I tried to find that website. When you find it, let me know, Tim, so we can put it in here.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I
you
have it.
already
Okay.
have it. Okay, Kathy.
Yeah, so we can put. I will put it in the show on the next show. We'll put it in the comment column so everybody can go check it out. All
Yeah.
right, great deal. Yeah, thank you,
Mhm.
Kathy.
Okay, well, we touched about it a little bit about we're all going to the fifth dimension. The
Right.
fourth dimension, we're in third dimension now. Fourth dimension is kind of the ghost realm where people kind of get trapped, you know.
Okay.
And that's why it's important when people pass away, if they pass away in their home, that you open a window so their spirit can go go through. So,
Okay.
our door
Yeah,
or something. But
right.
yeah, so basically, but after this super blue moon, it might not seem like it was a big deal, the one that was in Aquarius on August
It
30th, but it
was.
And
was
I missed it.
a
I
huge
didn't see
deal.
it. Did you see
Yeah.
it?
No, I didn't.
I took a picture of it. Didn't it looked like a regular moon in a way, but and then after now a green comet just mysteriously appeared last night,
Wow.
and
I
I
Wow.
lost it, and the
with
wind blew
everyone.
his tail away. Yeah, you
Mm.
sent
And
me
then
that. I saw that.
And then today, yeah, the Earth atmosphere, blew the tail off, which is probably a good thing. But
That
yeah,
is a big thing.
we got to talk about this because in the future, because there was a huge, shift here on the
Right.
Yeah,
planet. And
Right.
so
I
we'll talk
think so
about that in
too.
another show. There's not enough to talk about it now.
No, and in case I didn't mention, which I didn't, because we had so much to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy, you look beautiful tonight.
Oh, thank you.
You
Thank
do.
you.
James say bye, Emily and Tim. Good night, Kathy. Say
Good
bless
night,
our night.
James.
And see you
Everyone.
next time. Well, now, James,
Yeah.
next time it's gonna be tomorrow.
Yeah,
James.
for the
Uh,
political, girls
yeah.
politics.
We got
And
politics, and James is on this. Aren't you? Isn't James in the studio?
yes, he is. And then we have the 9/11 show on
On
Friday.
We will
With
see
Friday.
you tomorrow night and
special
Yep.
Friday
tribute.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. That's our time, y'all. Thank you so much for your comments. You guys have really talked with us great tonight. We appreciate it so much. And thank you, team. New show. We'll have to share a lot so we can build up our
Yeah.
followers. And please, if you can, ask people to follow the show,
Yeah.
like the show,
Let me jump in
so
there
that we
right
can
quick.
get some followers.
Let me jump in there right
Yeah.
quick. If you build it,
Okay.
they will come.
There we go.
That's good.
I agree with you, Tim. So
All right.
it was, yeah, you're right about that. Let's give a round of applause.
Yeah.
And that's our time. And do we get a round of applause?
No,
Oh, there it
it was
Okay.
delayed reaction. It must be in a different
Yeah.
parallel universe.
I know,
is. Yeah,
right?
they are. I think it's a delay. All right, everybody say good night. And
Good
now
night.
our spooky outro will play us out. All right, good night, everybody.
Night.